enhancing slide presentation accessibility for blind and low vision audience through delay buffer editing.
We can have some pictures and everything for you. Please hold up. Great. Research presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Azizul Haque, and today I'm going to present our work. So basically it's all about making the slide presentation more accessible for the blind and low vision audience. So this is a joint work with my wonderful professor Jonggi, and look at this picture. What you can see here, there are multiple people are here. So some of them are presenter and some of them are join the presentation, and you can see there is a slide and there are some visuals. So the fusion of voice and visual only works if you can see the screen. The moment if you can't see the screen, the big part of talk just remain disappeared. So that's the exact same problem happens with the blind and low vision participant, because they cannot see the screen, they can only listen. So we identified three main problems for the blind and low vision participant. The first one is that visuals are not always fully described. So when the presenter presented any slide or described any visual on the presentation, that sometimes it's partially described, not fully described. So that part, the blind participant got confused. And another problem we have identified, that is that slide changes go unannounced. So when the presenter, and like me, for I'm doing a talk like this, so when I change the slide, I never mentioned that I'm going to change the slide. So for whoever can see the screen, they can understand that slide is changing. For the blind participant, they don't know when the slide is changing. So sometimes they got confused that what to concentrate, that I'm into the current slide or the speaker move to the next slide. And that's the main problem for the blind and low vision participant. And another problem is that even though some of the classroom or presentation has the accessibility format, but those are not consistent. To solve this issue, we try to find that what are the existing solutions are available. And what we found that there are some solutions are there. So those are required, for example, that keyword navigation of the slide. So the blind participant has to manually navigate the slides in order to access those to understand better. And there is another solution which is available, which is the recorded presentation. After, for example, I'm giving them this talk, it will be recorded, and after that they can access it. So there is no solution right now available that the blind participant can, in real time, they can access it. So, but all of the solutions right now available, those have some major problems. So, for example, they actively have to navigate the slide, and also they need a lot of cognitive load. So when the blind participant do have a lot of cognitive loads, they sometimes lose their concentration for what to focus on the slide. So to solve this issue, so we want to reduce those. So like, for example, the cognitive load, the user interaction, and also from the presenter view, they don't have to do anything. So to solve those issues, so we introduced the delay buffer editing. So how it works? So we proposed editing version like in nearly real time. So we offered like 5 seconds delay buffer. What happens? So within 5 seconds, it's gonna record from the screen. It's gonna record the screen and audio together from the speaker audio. Then it's gonna process in the backend, and it's gonna describe the slide description, and it's gonna remove any filler words to put that slide description into the same time frame when the slide appears. And it's gonna continue until the slide talk is finished. So you can see the pipeline, how it works, and you can see there is two pipelines. One is the normal version, the original presentation, and when we do the presentation like a human, so we have some pause sound. For example, I took a 1 second pause. Okay, so the blind participant, they don't need to listen those pause. So we like utilize this pause sound to insert our slide description, because if we add the slide description without removing the pause sound, that will be the original, the processed audio will be the longer than the original talk. So that will be the confusion. So we use that time to just put our to slide description so that we can keep the original length and the processed audio length in the like same length. So how it works? So we divided into 3 main pipelines. So first one is that when the talk happens, so it's automatically detect the slides. Any slide which appears in the screen, it's automatically detect the slides. Then it's automatically describe the slide, generate a slide description. So it's gonna take the slide title, then it's gonna take the short summary of the slide, even though slide has a lot of content. Okay. So then it's going to convert to a audio, and it's going to put it on the exactly when the slide appears. For example, during the talk, if the slide appears at 2 minutes 35 seconds, that the slide description exactly going to pop up at 2 minutes 35 seconds. So in the between, the speaker and the listener, they don't have to interrupt anything. And also, as I said before, that we remove the redundancy, any repetitive words, any pause sound to put that, to utilize the time to put our slide description. So to test it that our system is actually working or not, so we recruited total 12 participants, and out of the total 6 are totally blind, 4 are legally blind, and 2 are having light perception. And out of the 12, 4 are male and 8 are male and 4 are female participants. And there are some of the materials we have used to do our study. So we used 6 videos, and out of the 6 videos, there are 4 categories: 2 computer science videos, 2 health and science videos, 1 social science videos, and 1 physical science videos. So out of the 6 videos, each videos has approximately 3 to 11 slides, and each video length from 3.5 minutes to approximately 10 minutes. So after the study, does it work? So is it helpful? Look at the numbers. So when we tested the normal presentation, like talk I'm giving with the blind participant, then we took the interview. And we have found that 50% of the correctness of their answers. And when we test the different video with our system, then we have got almost 89% total comprehensive score. That means it's actually working. It's helping them to better understand the slide, visualize the slide better. And also we have got another amazing result for the slide changes. So what happens in our system, it's every time when the slide changes, it's going to automatically say, this is the slide number, slide 2, and it's going to tell the slide title, and it's going to provide the short slide description. So when we ask that, normally when we play video without our system, and we ask the participants that, did you able to understand when the slide changes and or speaker move to one slide to another, the 17% of the participants say they understand. And when we another video we have tested with the blind participant, and when we ask them, did you able to understand when the speaker switch one slide to another, and 100% of the participants they say yes, they understand. So that means it's actually helping them to understand when the slide changes, and also they can concentrate on the slide and the content like whenever they want. So during building this solution, we face some challenges. So one challenge is, since I mentioned that it automatically cut the filler sound or pause sound. So sometimes what happens, it depends on the various videos, it sometimes cut down the original speaker talk. That's we don't want, right? So it's rarely happens, approximately like 5%. So it's rarely happen, but it's still our limitation. So we'll definitely work on this to fix it. And also sometimes what happens, so it's describe the slide twice. What happens, for example, I'm into the slide, and if I quickly move to this slide, quickly, the back slide, and if I play it again, because it's our system is automated, it's gonna describe the previous slide again. So sometimes it happens when it depends on the speaker movement. And there are future work we are going to do. So right now we are using the edited version, recorded version to work this issue. But our live system is that it's gonna work, like for example, I'm giving a talk, it's gonna, the blind participant who is sitting here, he can run it on the system, and it's gonna live, like in real time, it's gonna provide the slide description with the solution. So that for me as a speaker, I don't have to do anything, and for the blind participant, they don't have to do any extra work. It's gonna be, everything gonna be automated, and they will listen the accessible slide with the slide description. So the good news is that live development system is right now ready, and I'm looking for the blind participants, like on this DS conference. If anyone of you know that anyone who is joining this DS conference, who is blind, and I wanted to test with him on the live setting, because it's right now it's live. And anyone, if you know anyone, please scan this QR code and let me know. So we'd like to test with how it works in real setting. So that's all about my work. Thank you. If you guys have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, thanks for your presentation. So if I understand it correctly, the sort of descriptions come at the time that the slide is there. So what happens in the instance when Does that mean that the blind and low vision individual has to listen to two streams of audio at the same time?
No, no. So for example, I'm giving the talk, right? So that's why we remove the post sound to insert those TTS. I mean that audio description. So they will not listen the two sound. So when the audio description is playing, that time the speaker voices will be stopped automatically. So for example, I stop here as a speaker. So I finish here. When the slide description happens, when the slide description plays, it's going to be, for example, 3 seconds. Then from the 3 seconds, when the speaker left, it's going to start from there. That's why we use the 5 seconds delay to keep that. So when, like I'm here, I'm giving the talk. So it will take the listener will listen after 5 seconds. So we utilize that time so that we can put anything happens, like to put our slide description, and sometimes if the talk goes longer and there is no post sound, then our processed audio length should be the 30 seconds longer than the usual one.
Okay, so it seems like, what if the description is longer than 3 seconds?
No, it's not, because we set a custom setting. Then it's going to describe within 20 words. Even the slide, there is a lot of content. In the slide, there might be a lot of content. So it's going to summarize automatically, because in the backend, we have used the GPT-4 mini API. So it's going to automatically detect the slide and it's going to summarize the slide. So even it doesn't matter that how many content are there. So it will be like to describe, like transcribe from 20 words to audio. It will be fit in 3 to 5 seconds for sure. We tested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the presentation. Great talk. I was really wondering, because when I recently did interviews with my blind and low vision participants, then we also talked a bit about the presentations, and then they told me it's really horrible to give a presentation, right? Because sometimes the timing is really difficult. They cannot see the slides, and sometimes they're using the iPad and looking there, and then so they can swipe the slides. And we also thought about doing it the other way around, so developing tools for giving presentations.
So for our system, that from the user side, they don't have to do anything. So it will be run. It's because our system, it's gonna take the screen from the computer. It's not for live. Even though if you do from your phone, if you do the live streaming, and it's gonna detect the slide from the screen, from your computer screen. So the user don't have to do anything. It's run automatically. It's gonna detect the slide. It's gonna provide the slide description automatically, and we'll have the public link, the custom link, that's going to provide the processed audio. So the blind participant, instead of listening the original talk like I'm talking, they will listen the processed talk with the slide description.